Yeah, so just to follow that thought, if there's a policy now that affordable housing, developers will be encouraged to provide affordable housing at transit centers all over the city, right, particularly in the outer boroughs where we believe the housing is needed. And the de Blasio administration has already stated they don't care how tall the buildings are, they'll give as much height as they need. So if those developers were required not only to provide a percentage of social housing, but also to engage the community in the public realm in the immediate vicinity. And I think actually HPD's been doing this to some extent with its new RFPs, where the housing developers are required not just to provide the building, but to look at the streetscape around. Maybe that's a way of building this idea of public space into the infrastructure and get it funded not as a simple one-off pop, but as part of a more broader policy.
But let's be clear about what this is. It is being funded, again, essentially by an incentive zoning type of mechanism, although it becomes mandatory now under the proposal. It's being funded by, as you just said, David, bigger buildings. I'm not saying that's bad at all, but it is being funded by more density, and the rubber, as we all know, is going to hit the road when the zoning is done and neighborhoods are suddenly confronted with larger buildings. I think it's an enormous, interesting challenge and an important challenge that the city faces, and it's part of what this new administration is proposing. So it's a mandatory density bonus program for affordable housing and for public space. I'll also say that there is a trade-off between should these extra square feet that fund what the developer can do go for affordable housing, or for public space, or for infrastructure, or other kinds of things. These are all fascinating challenges that the city is dealing with right now in a very intellectually interesting way.
Yeah, I mean, the East Midtown zoning is a case in point, right, where there will be some money from whether it's TDF or whatever it is, but is that going to be put into the subway system or into the streetscape, or there's not enough money to do everything? And you're right, you have to make choices.